Hi, welcome to today's session or installment of Vocabulary Wednesdays. And I am Chris with Magoosh. And today's theme, it says words of the day. And you may think, hey, every Vocab Wednesday is words of the day. But there's a site called dictionary.com, which you may have used before if you've ever wanted to look up words. And that website features a word of the day. So wherever they get these words from, who knows, but I'm guessing it's probably from dictionary.com. And these words are quite interesting. Some of them are really, really random. Maybe you could use them in Scrabble. And students have asked me, should I memorize these words for the GRE? And I say, no, those are crazy random words that would never show up on the GRE. That said, about 30% of the words that are featured as words of the day on dictionary.com are actual GRE words. So what I did is I went through words of the day from this year, 2013, and I picked those words that were high-frequency GRE words, except for one, which wasn't so high-frequency. So let's actually take a look at some of those words. Starting with a very cute-sounding word, quibble. A quibble is not a little nibble. A quibble is a little complaint, usually over a trivial matter. So if somebody says, "Oh, look at Chris's queue. The leg of Chris's queue is so long." So if they start complaining like that, that person is quibbling. They're bringing up a trivial objection. So don't quibble about my quibble. Okay, next we have recant. It's one of those words where people think, oh, means to do something again. So I couldn't do it the first time, and again I couldn't do it, I recant. No, not how it works. Recant actually has nothing to do with not being able to do something. Recant actually means to take back your beliefs, your opinions, what strongly motivates you. Now, I can think of heretics. Heretics are those who do not believe the standard creed. And back in the 16th century or so, many people were burnt at the stake because they did not recant or take back their beliefs. So perhaps they didn't believe in a God. And the person whose job it was to burn them alive said, recant your belief in atheism, and perhaps I won't burn you alive. And that didn't usually happen either way. They were unfortunately burnt alive. Probably more apt, or at least specific historical example is Galileo. If you ever read about Galileo, he said that, hey, I'm doing some scientific experiments here, and it looks like, things aren't revolving around the Earth. Wait a second, we're actually revolving around the sun. And the church said, no, that goes against, our teachings. And they forced Galileo to recant or take back his belief that the sun, that is, planets rather, orbited around the sun. He did not recant, and he ended up stuck in a tower somewhere with doing scientific experiments, apparently. Next, splenetic. Now, I mentioned at the outset that there were some words that weren't quite high frequency. There's actually only one. It's splenetic. Not that high frequency, but it's a cool word. And there are a lot of GRE words that are synonyms. There are a lot of high frequency GRE words that are synonyms for splenetic. First off, splenetic comes from spleen, which doesn't really help too much, saying I have a lot of spleen. But what that means is I get angry and irritable very easy. So get out of my way. I'm grouchy and ill-tempered. And other common words for splenetic are irascible, curmudgeonly. Maybe not curmudgeonly isn't that high frequency of a GRE word, but irascible definitely is. Next and last, we have insouciance. I like saying it. It comes from French, if you couldn't guess. To be insouciant, the adjective, noun form is insouciant, means to not really care, to act kind of like you don't care about anything. You're indifferent. Everything is sort of a, whatever. Yeah, life isn't that important. GRE, schmeare, that's insouciance. By the way, don't be insouciant when it comes to GRE prep, or for that matter, vocabulary in general. And I'll see you next week for more vocab. In the meantime, check us out at gre.magoosh.com. It is an expert. Now, this word, interestingly, comes from Sanskrit, from pundit, so it doesn't really relate to the word pun itself. However, if you can come up with a clever pun for pundit, then that would definitely make a helpful mnemonic. Next, who else do we see on TV? Charlatans. Now, a charlatan is a person who pretends to have knowledge that they don't actually have. Actors, for the most part, especially doctor actors, are charlatans. Now, of course, we know they're not real doctors, but at times we forget and we get really involved in the television show. And the doctors begin speaking in this doctorese or this medical jargon, and they sound so intelligent and informed. However, they're not really doctors. They are pretenders of knowledge. So again, a charlatan is one who pretends to have knowledge, different from a pundit who actually has legitimate knowledge. So again, a person who pretends to know something that they really don't. Next, who do we see? Well, this one's kind of a stretch. I guess stalwart. We see stalwart people on television shows where there's a psych. So if you've ever seen a TV show, and there's someone who helps out the hero or the heroine, but isn't necessarily the main character, that person is stalwart. What that means is that they are resilient. They don't give up easily. They are even strong to a degree. Stalwart, a second definition, can mean strong. So again, a stalwart figure someone who doesn't give up easily, will stick by your side and make sure nobody hurts you. Finally, the contrarian. Who's the contrarian? The contrarian is a person who disagrees with everything you say. Well, maybe that's going too far, but a contrarian likes to take the other side. So if you say, oh, I think that green is a wonderful color, and I'm going to use green in all my Vocab Wednesday videos, the contrarian will come along and say, you know what, I'm going to use blue. Hopefully the contrarian is not a pundit. So where do we see these contrarians on TV? Well, we can see contrarians popping up whenever there's a character who doesn't agree with everyone else, always does their own thing. That is the contrarian. I'll see you guys next week, and in the meantime, check us out at gre.magoosh.com.